大家晚安，早上好，阿弥陀佛。今天我们很高兴介绍2位我们男校的毕业生校友，成志缘老大，老二成志喜，他们分别是在2018年2019年毕业的。这2位孩子他们都相当有这个善根，也有这个福德因缘。毕业完之后，他们考到了马来西亚的厦门大学的分校。这个大学是等于为了回馈老华侨陈家根在厦门大学厦门办大学，在集美办学生，给这个造福当地百姓，然后厦大在这个世纪初就到马来西亚去办这个分校，来回馈当年他们这个老华侨的这个办校的这个精神。所以我就不多讲了，这个我把时间还是留给他们来跟给大家来分享他们的心得，他们的心路历程。那么我也希望他们在讲的时候不要偏离主题太远，就是这是我对他们的一个希望，也希望他们能够真正的体现厦大的这个孝性，自强不息，止于至善。好，阿弥陀佛。
You have to say that in English,
好。Good evening and good morning, 阿弥陀佛。Tonight I'm very happy to introduce to our alumni to everybody. They graduate from our boys' school, developing virtue secondary school in 2018 and 2019. The older brother's names Cheng志缘, and the second one成志喜. They are, in my view, are quite blessed children who have the intelligence as well as virtue. So I hope, actually right now they are studying in the Xiamen University, Malaysian branch, and I hope in the future, in the study in the future, they can truly embody the principle of the school of always be vigorous and self-improvement, to improve themselves and reach the utmost excellence in academics as well as in virtue. So I won't be spending too much time introducing them, and I'll leave them to introduce their talks. I hope they won't be sidetracked or going into some unrelated topic or issues. Amitabha.
Amitabha. Thank you so much, Yuan Seng, for the introduction. So I will begin. I would like to share screen. Okay. So can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, now it stopped sharing. Oh, please give me a moment. I would like to, there's some issue. Hold on.
What happened? You can just share again, see what happened.
I'm trying to share it again.
Yeah, just try it. We saw your screen earlier.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Not now.
Not now?
Not
Oh,
now.
Okay, please give me a second. Hold on. Sorry about this. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Even right now?
Yeah, we saw that.
Oh, all right. Okay. If you guys can see my screen then it's fine. Okay, I'll begin. Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Venerable Master, Dharma Masters, and all good-knowing advisors, Amitabha. 诸佛菩萨、玄公上人、各位法师、各位善知识，大家阿弥陀佛。My name is William, and I am from the class of 2018. 我叫成志远，然后我是2018年从培德男校毕业的学生。So today I would like to share about what I learned in CTTB and why I decided to return to Malaysia to study, and why I chose Xiamen University, why I enrolled in the advertising program, and also my future directions. 那么今天我想要和大家分享我在万佛城和培德男校教会我的事，然后我为什么选择回来马来西亚读大学，为什么选择厦门大学马来西亚分校，为什么选择读广告，然后还有我的未来的方向。Well, throughout the 6 years I spent in the developing virtual boys school in CTTB, I've learned one thing that I did not think I could have had the opportunity to learn anywhere else, and that is selflessness or altruistic. 那么我在万佛圣城里的培德男校度过的6年里，我学会了一些我觉得在别的地方是没有机会可以学到的，那就是无私心。Although there are many more things such as mantras, meditations, friendship, Buddhism that I learned in CTTB, this is the one that made me a better person, and is also one that helped me a lot even after I left CTTB. 虽然在这6年我也学会了许多重要的知识，比如说经典、静坐、友情、佛教，但是无私心是我在离开万佛城后让我成为一个更好的人，也在外面的社会里帮助我很多。So, first of all, selflessness or being altruistic, this is not something I learned in class, but through my observation of the actions from the people and my friends in CTTB. My classmates especially. Our teachers, our dorm teachers, Nakula and Mr. K, are volunteers who ask for nothing in return, but they do their best to carry this huge responsibility of taking care of 20 to 30 kids, while also having their other responsibilities to deal with as well. And there was never a moment in which I felt that they didn't pour 100% of their effort into us. They were always doing everything they could. So I'm extremely thankful for their care throughout these 6 years, and their actions have had a huge positive impact on me. 首先，我想要分享一下这个无私心。这个不是我在课室里所学到的东西，这个是我自己个人在观察身边的人的时候学到的。老师啊，朋友啊，特别是我的同班同学。那么我的老师，宿舍老师 Nakula 和 Mr. K 都是自愿来到宿舍里，尽全力去照顾我们20到30个小孩，青年。除了当我们的宿舍老师这个责任，他们每天还有自己重要的责任必须去承担，但是他们从来没有一次是没有尽全力的去照顾我们，每一次都尽量把最好的都给我们，所以我非常非常感谢他们这6年以来一直都没有离开我们，然后他们对我的照顾已经给了我一个非常深刻也非常正面的影响。Okay, now my friends in CTTB are also my teachers, and I want to talk about these two especially, who were so selfless, and I could never forget their kind actions towards not just me, but many others as well. Bohan and Marco. two of my cutest juniors but teachers at the same time, who helped me survive through physics class in my senior year. Although they were 2 years younger than me, there was no doubt that they were already 2 college degrees smarter than me. But still, while they could be doing something else, like reading their favorite novels, they spent so much time staying back in the library, sitting next to me, explaining how I could possibly solve this equation that I would never use in my life. And I am extremely grateful for them. And I could say I learned a lot from them. A lot, not just physics, but selflessness, of course. 我在男校交的朋友也是我的老师，特别是这2位非常无私、非常乐于助人的可爱的学弟，也是我的老师 Bohan 和 Marco。他们帮助一个不是很会读书的我，度过了1年非常辛苦的物理课。虽然他们小我2年，但我觉得他们已经比我读大学拿了2个文凭我就算读了大学拿2个文凭都不会比他们聪明。每个星期做完他们自己的作业过后，他们都可以选择去做他们喜欢做的东西，但是他们都会留下来，在一个冷冷没有暖气的图书馆，陪我这个孤单的小男孩，一个一个的解释给我许多我以后都不会用到的物理方程式。所以我非常感谢有像他们这样乐于助人的那么无私的朋友，教会了我很多。虽然不是那些物理方程，那些我已经忘记了，反而我只记得他们的无私心。那么好像我说的最重要 most importantly, my classmates, Tony, Eric, Xiao, Kevin, Austin, Miguel, Alan, Michael, Joshua, Taos, Ricky, and Eric Chua. But due to the time limit, I could only talk about a few of you. Tony, a dear friend of mine since 7 years old, whom I never knew until we were 14, has made a lot of improvements in the school, and especially the dorm through his actions. And he started the gym room in the dorm, was the main guy for the backyard renovation, and did a lot more for the school. Well, did he do all this for himself? He didn't, and he didn't brag at all either. He was always contributing and doing the most behind all these big projects. Renovating a rat-infested room into a gym room so that the dorm students could become more conscious of their health, and the backyard renovation and even the pizza oven, it was a gift that we could give to Mr. K before we graduated. And after school, he would go to the backyard and fill in the concrete, the bricks, smooth out the benches all by himself without complaining or asking anyone for help. It was very selfless of him. 现在我想讲一下我在南校的同班同学们 Tony, Eric, Xiao, Kevin, Austin, Miguel, Alan, Michael, Joshua, Taos, Ricky 和 Eric Chua。但是因为时间有限，我只能和你们分享几位同学。首先 Tony， 这一位是我7岁的同班同学，但是我到14岁才认识他。他是一位特别的同学，特别的朋友。他为了南校我们的宿舍做了许多改变，也建立了一个健身房，把我们宿舍的后园变成花园，也做了许多帮助学校的事情。那么这位同学完全没有炫耀自己做了多少事情，也不是为了自己的利益而做的，他一直都是最辛苦最努力把这些事情完成的人。有了健身房，宿舍生开始注重身材，注重健康，然后把后园弄成好看的花园，而且还有一个 pizza oven 披萨烤箱，是为了让我们在毕业之前送给 Mr. K 的这一份礼物。放学过后他都自己会去后园开始工作，希望可以在毕业之前送给照顾我们那么多年的宿舍老师。他这个无私的动作教会了我很多。And another classmate that I would like to talk about, actually 2 of them, Kevin and Austin. They are the mom of our dorm, which means they are the master chefs. But not only are they good at cooking, they make food for us without asking for anything in return. So Kevin would spend time learning new recipes that he could make for us during snacks so that we get to try something new once in a while. So he tries his best, making sure everything has to go his way during the preparation so that he could make the best food for us. Now, Austin cooks almost every night and is always ready to share the food he makes. He would even walk all the way to the gym room at 10 p.m. at night to ask if I wanted some. So they are always giving. They never ask for anything back. So I really appreciate their food, not their food. I really appreciate their food as well, but also their selfless actions towards their friends. 那么我还想要跟大家分享我这2位同班的朋友 Kevin 和 Austin， 他们是我们宿舍里的妈妈，也就是说他们很厉害煮饭，但他们不只是很厉害， 他们还很厉害和我们分享他们的美食。那么 Kevin 也时常会在网上查看有什么新的食谱，可以给我们煮更多好吃的美食，偶尔尝一下新的口味。Austin 他差不多每天晚上都在煮东西，每次煮完过后都会很愿意给我们吃，甚至有时还会晚上10点走到健身房问我要不要吃他煮的拉面。他们时常分享他们的美食，但是从来没有要我们给他们什么。我很欣赏他们的食物，我很欣赏他们的无私心，教会了我有美食一定要分享，大家才会开心。Well, this basically sums up the selfless acts that I've observed from all these teachers, and they have inspired me and taught me a lot as well. I wanted to elaborate on this point because it is something that has benefited me the most in my life and has changed my attitude towards people. As you may have noticed, the pictures of my friends that I use in this slides are the pictures taken while they are doing those selfless actions. Each and every one of their selfless acts has taught me the importance of being humble and why I should always give back. And this mindset has helped me overcome many difficult situations with a positive attitude. So 从这些老师们我所学到的无私心帮助了我很多。我今天很仔细的分享了这个无私心，是因为这个真的帮助了我非常非常多，也让我对别人的态度带来了许多的改变。相信大家都有可能发现了，我用的这些照片都是当他们在做这些我提到的无私心的行为的时候拍下来的。他们的每一个无私的行为都让我明白了谦虚和感恩的重要。当我面对困难的时候，这个无私的思想能够让我正面的去克服他们。Now I'd like to continue to talk about why I decided to return to Malaysia to study, but before that, I would like to explain a little bit on how I came to CTTB in the first place. So the reason I spent 6 years at CTTB was to build a strong foundation as a human being, as a good person. After my dad visited CTTB, he came back to Malaysia and asked if I wanted to study in the United States. And of course I said yes, but I ended up in somewhere that did not look like the United States at all. But in the city of 10,000 Buddhas, I have learned to become a better human being and learn what is right and what is wrong under the proper guidance of my teachers. 接下来我想和大家分享我为什么回到马来西亚读大学，但首先我想分享一下我一开始是怎么来到万佛圣城的。我花了6年在培的男校，是为了成为一个更好的人，培养一个良好的人格，打好基础。当我爸爸从万佛城回来过后，他问我要不要去美国留学，我当然说好啊。但是我怎么去到了一个完全跟我想象的美国不一样的地方？但是在万佛城，我学会了怎么做一个更好的人，在老师的领导下，什么是对错。Now, why I decided to study back in Malaysia is because I believe that it does not matter which college I go to, I could still learn what I want, as much as I want. And also, I believe that I have siblings who have the potential to go study in other countries or even stay in the United States. So me going back to Malaysia will save my parents a lot of money. 那么我为什么回到马来西亚读大学？是因为我相信，不管在哪一个大学，如果我想要的话，我也可以学到很多。而且我相信我的弟弟妹妹有很多潜能，可以去外国，甚至是留在美国读大学，如果他们想要的话。所以我回来马来西亚读书，可以让我爸爸妈妈省下很多钱。Now, I'd like to share with you why I chose Xiamen University of Malaysia. The reason is very simple, being that I could see a lot of potential and opportunities there, coming from the diverse culture and the environment. As China's economy has become one of the top in the world, it would be a good decision for me to enroll in this university to learn more about it. 那么我为什么选择读厦门大学马来西亚分校呢？原因很简单，是因为我看到有很多潜能和机会。我在厦门大学遇到很多不一样的人，教会了我很多不一样的事。然后中国现在也发展能力也是在这世界上是排数1数2的。所以我进入这个厦门大学马来西亚分校，我可以学到更多关于中国。那么我为什么读广告呢？ Now, why did I study advertising? Why did I choose to study advertising? Is because I wanted to learn about marketing and how to express myself in the right way, in the most effective way. And 那我为什么读广告系？为什么在厦门大学读广告系？是因为我想要学习营销，然后同时表达出我想要讲的东西，增强我的表达能力。那么我的 now I want to talk about my future directions. And in the future, I have two things that I really emphasize. One is doing what I love, and the second one is helping others, living a life that I could help other people. And 所以现在我想要讲一下我的未来方向。我非常注重两个东西，第一就是做我喜欢做的东西。我相信这个可以让我非常开心，得到有一个非常开心的生活。那么第二个就是帮助别人。我希望我以后的生活能够帮到很多人，能够做一些可以帮到很多人的一个工作。那么这个在我的 sharing, before I end this sharing, I would like to thank a lot of people from CTTB, the volunteers, and also my teachers and my friends, and the volunteers including Alan's mom, Tom's mom, Trent's mom, all volunteers who made really good food and also took care of us for the past 6 years. And also my teachers, my dorm teachers, Mr. K, Nakula, my friends, and everyone for taking care of me and teaching me and helping me become who I am today. 那么在我结束之前，我想要谢谢在万佛城的 volunteer， 然后在万佛城的老师、宿舍老师、我的朋友、我的同学，让我成为了今天的我。那么我的 sharing， so my sharing ends here. Thank you so much. 那么我今天的分享就到这里，谢谢大家。
William, who's that young guy? Was that you?
The young guy right here is me. Taken a picture of me taken accidentally when my mom asked me to look back. Hey, William, look back. Took the picture. So it's a very memorable and funny picture of my first year in CTTB.
How old were you?
I was 12 years old. I was 12 years old back then. So almost 8 years from now.
You want to say this in Mandarin so people will know?
Say what?
Say this in Mandarin.
那么这个照片呢，左边的这个照片是我12岁的时候，当我到万佛圣城的时候的第一个星期，开学的第一个星期，我妈妈帮我拍了一张照片。那么这个是2012年，所以就是8年前的事情了，已经过了好久了。
严法师 you want to say something?
杨老师，我这边因为他们在在做报告之中，我就暂时不插嘴了。
Okay.
他是我印象比较深的是那个老大呢，在宿舍的时候其实是很喜欢帮同学的。他那个我从南校走到宿舍的时候呢，会经过他们那个community center， 他们都会好几个孩子在那边，有的时候时不时的会给他们那个剃头啊、剪头发。
剪头发，对，
给我印象很深刻。
So
I could talk about the cutting hair thing, maybe. So it was I cut hair. I give haircuts to the dorm students and also teachers, including Ben, Mr. Chen, but unfortunately I didn't get the chance to cut Mr. K's or Nakula's hair. I cut Justin's hair though. So I give haircuts to my friends and some of the teachers and even some of the parents too. And I was I'm really thankful to all my friends who were willing to be my experiment when I started cutting hair back in sophomore year. So because back then everyone will only shave their heads, so I was like, let me learn and let me try to make you guys look a little bit handsome for when we perform, of course. And so I will cut hair about like 5 to 6 times every week because we have about 20 to 30 dorm students. And this is a way that I practice helping others and giving back in CTTB. So 那么我在万佛圣城的时候也是有帮人家剪头发，因为之前我们大家都是剪光头，我们只会剪光头。那么为了让大家比较好看一点，就是比较有一点点 style， 因为大家都有自己的要求，我就学一下怎么剪头发，帮他们剪到他们想要的样子。所以不只是剃光头，还可以有一些 style， 还可以有一些自己的风格。那么我有时候也会帮老师剪头发，学生剪头发，然后有些同学的家长剪头发。所以这个呢，我也非常感谢他们，让我体验，让我学习怎么进步我的剪头发的能力，让他们让我做他们给我做实验，在他们的头上面，是这样讲吗？好奇怪。
做白老鼠。
对，做我的白老鼠，对，做我的白老鼠，让我学习，同时让我学习，同时也让我帮他们弄得好看一点。
Very good. So Chee, you want to start?
Okay, I will share my PowerPoint. 好，等一下哦。Can you guys see my PowerPoint?
Yes.
Yes? All right,
Yes.
Okay, I can start. Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Venerable Master, Dharma Masters, and all good-knowing advisors, Amitabha. My name is Chee Hee, and I graduated from the class of 2019. 诸佛菩萨、宣公上人、各位法师、各位善知识，大家阿弥陀佛。我是来自马来西亚的培德男校2019年的毕业生，我名字叫成志喜。那这4位就是我的同班同学，就是三honk。I should speak in English. So these 4 are my classmates: San Hong, Jackie, Bang Yang, and Gwen. 这4位呢，就是我同班同学，就是善红，还有这 Jackie、Bang Yang， 还有这个 Gwen 4位朋友。那first of all, I'd like to thank Dharma Master Jing Yan and Dharma Master Jing Yong for giving me this opportunity to share with everybody here, to share a little bit about my reflections over the past few years in CTTB, and I guess how I apply what I learned after I came back. So 首先我想要非常感谢金勇师，还有金言师，还有万佛圣城给我这个机会在这里和大家分享关于我在培德男校的一些心得，还有我毕业之后回到马来西亚。我现在是学中医嘛，就我怎么在这2年毕业了之后2年运用我在万佛圣城学到的一些东西。Okay, so this was me back in 2012 to 2013. I was very young. I was 11 to 12 years old back then, super young, and I really didn't know much about what CTTB was, and I was just going there because my parents told me to. Right? 我那个时候呢，就是在2012、2013年我们的夏令营的时候，当初你可以看到在照片里我还是非常的小，那个时候我才11、12岁，根本不知道万佛圣城是个什么地方，也不知道我去那边是为了什么，就是因为父母叫我去，我就跟着去了。So this was me when I graduated. This is Mrs. Lau. My second mom in the U.S. because of her, I was able to stay in the United States for all the first 5 years of my time in CTTB. So thank you to her. And these are my parents on the right. So 这个是我在毕业的时候的照片。这个左边这位呢，就是 Mrs. Lau， 她就是当初我刚开始来到万佛城的时候，就是在她家住了5年。所以非常感谢他，他就像我第2个母亲， 还有右边呢就是我的爸爸妈妈啊，这就是我毕业的时候的照片。So today, I'd like to first share about what I learned in CTTB and DVBS. For those of you who don't know these shortcuts, they stand for City of 10,000 Buddhas and Developing Virtue Boys School. And secondly, I'll talk about how I apply what I learned in the last 2 years after I graduated. Thirdly, I'll talk about why I decided to return to Malaysia to study. And fourthly, I'll talk about why I chose to study traditional Chinese medicine. And lastly, I'll talk about my future directions. It's kind of similar to what my brother said. 所以今天我想要和大家分享，这是一个简单的目录。首先，我会跟大家分享关于万佛圣城和培德男校教会我的一些事和一些道理。然后第二呢，我就会分享我在毕业后的2年里是如何运用这些知识，就是在这2年里怎么运用这些知识的。然后第三就是为什么我会选择回来马来西亚。第四就是为什么我现在是中医系的学生嘛，为什么我会选择读中医？然后最后就是我未来的方向啊，这是简单的一个总结。那么
Your voice is a little bit soft. You too far away from microphone.
Is this louder?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I was a little bit far.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, so now I'd like to talk about what I learned in CTTB and DVBS. 现在我就想和大家先分享一下我在万佛圣城和培德男校学会的事。首先第一个是okay. So first of all, the first thing I learned in Developing Virtue Boys School is goodness and virtue. 所以我在万佛圣城和培德男校学会的第一件事就是行善和修德，因为我们是玉良小学和培德中学嘛，所以这是我学会的第一件事情。So here I learned how to be a good and proper human being, and the 8 core virtues: the filial piety, brotherhood, citizenship, trustworthiness, respect, righteousness, integrity, and humility. And I also learned about the 6 great principles, which are no fighting, no greedy, no self-benefiting, I promise not to fight, I promise not to be greedy, I promise not to seek, I promise not to be self-benefiting, and I promise not to tell lies. Okay, basically that.OK， 所以我在万佛圣城和培德男校学会的就是首先就是如何行善，还有怎么样修德。因为我们在玉良小学和培德中学就是要教会我们怎么样成为一个善良的人，怎么成为一个有道德的人。那么我就学会了怎么样成为一个品德良好的人。还有在万佛圣城我们也是有推崇这个8德，就是孝悌忠信礼义廉耻，还有我们的6大宗旨，也就是不争不贪不求不自私不自利不打妄语。所以这个是so this is a very simple summary of what we get to learn in CTTB and DVBS。 所以这是一个简单的总结，我们在万佛圣城培德男校可以学到的一些道理。So secondly, I learned about Buddhism and spirituality。 所以第二呢，我有学到关于佛法和宗教理念。So for Buddhism and spirituality, I learned how to calm my mind and how to find mental clarity through meditation class. Every day we will have meditation class as a first period, and then I also learned how to about religion and spirituality and gain a correct understanding of both of these terms. 所以在万佛圣城的时候，我也是有学到关于佛法还有宗教理念。那时候因为我们每天早上都有打坐课，第1节课就是打坐课，那我就学会了怎么样静下心，让心可以清净无染，可以让我比较自在开心一点。然后也是学会了一个正确的宗教理念，所以非常感谢万佛圣城和培德男校。And thirdly, I learned about leadership, and in leadership, we have responsibility, passion, discipline, communication skills, organization skills, and event planning skills, and much more. But I'll just talk about these few. 在之后呢，我也是有学到关于领导能力。那么领导能力里面呢，我们有责任感，还有培养我们的热忱、自律、沟通能力、办活动能力，还有活动计划的一些能力。那这些都是我在那边有学会到的事情。And lastly, I learned about multilingualism and translation. So this is really beneficial because I was able to participate in the translation of Buddhist sutras, lectures, and ancient Chinese texts, and this really helped build the foundation for what I'm studying now, which is traditional Chinese medicine. 那么 我第4个学到的东西就是语言能力和翻译能力。在万佛圣城，我非常高兴有这个机会，非常荣幸有这个机会可以翻译佛教的经典，还有开示，还有一些古文，这些都对我现在学中医有很大很大的帮助。So next, how did I apply what I learned in CTTB in the last 2 years after I graduated? 那么我在毕业后，我是怎么运用这些知识呢？这2年里。So first, I am currently studying traditional Chinese medicine. So because I learned about virtues and goodness and how to help other people and so on back in CTTB. So I was able to apply this in learning traditional Chinese medicine. And as a student, it's my responsibility and my duty to work hard and study so that I can, in the future, I can help more people become healthy, right? As a TCM practitioner. 我第一件就是我回来马来西亚学中医。其实我之前在万佛圣城学的良好的品德啊，怎么样成为一个善良的人，这些都有帮助我打了一个很好的基础。所以我现在学中医，我也是非常努力的学习，因为我身为一个学生，我的责任就是要学习，学好怎么做一个好中医，那以后可以帮助更多人得到健康。所以 so next.During these 2 years, I've been always reflecting and seeing maybe where I can improve because I learned a lot in CTTB, but then sometimes nobody's perfect. So we're all still working towards perfection. So I constantly reflect and see where I can improve so I can become a better human being. 所以在前2年，这2年里，我一直都在时常反省，因为没有一个人是完美的。那我在日常生活中都会反省，那我自己哪里做到不好的地方，那尽量改进，时常检讨，然后一直改进，把自己变得更好。所以这就是我前2年有在做的事情。And lastly, what I did mostly was I tried to help out wherever I could. So I'm currently the president of my student union, and I'm also an event planning member of the Buddhist Society, and I'm also helping with translation sometimes on the side with 经言师, although not as often as I used to. Okay, 我现在在马来西亚有做到的第3件事就是我尽量会帮忙。我现在是我们学校中医系学生会的主席，也是佛学会的活动策划组的成员，还有时候有空我也会帮忙净言法师做翻译，当然不像以前那么时常帮忙，但是还是尽量有空就抽出时间来帮忙翻译。So next, why did I return to study in Malaysia? 现在呢，我想和大家分享为什么我选择回来马来西亚读大学。So first of all, I really miss Malaysia. I've been in the United States for 6 years already, so I really miss Malaysia, and I want to familiarize myself with my home country because I don't know. I haven't really learned through textbooks and through classes about Malaysian history, Malaysian geography, and Malaysian culture. So I have to educate myself on these things because I'm a Malaysian, so I have to know enough about my country. 所以为什么我会选择回来马来西亚呢？因为首先我想念我的家乡，我想念马来西亚。我在美国留学已经6年了，所以我现在决定我想回来马来西亚。然后因为我之前没有真正上过关于马来西亚的历史课还是地理课，所以现在也是要自己学习关于自己的国家。因为我自己是马来西亚人，那我一定要对于自己的国家更加熟悉，更加理解嘛。So secondly, I want to retrace my roots and use what I learned in CTTB and DVBS to help my own country. 第2点呢，就是我想要用我在万佛圣城和培德南校学会的一些东西来帮助自己的国家，所以这就是为什么我回来了。Now, why did I choose traditional Chinese medicine? 现在和大家谈一谈为什么我会选择读中医。因为because out of all the alumni I know, I think I'm the only one who's studying traditional Chinese medicine. 因为所有的毕业生里，我认识的毕业生当中，好像只有我一个是选择读中医的。So first of all, I saw and experienced the efficacy of traditional Chinese medicine when I was in the United States, and this was during the 10,000 Buddhas repentance, when there was a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner who came and he helped me diagnose my sickness and prescribe some medicine for me. And I really felt the effects in just a few days. Like I would brew the Chinese medicine in the morning and I would drink it, and it really felt like it was improving my health. So that's why I started having an interest in traditional Chinese medicine. 所以那个时候，当初首先第一个原因，为什么我会选择中医呢？因为在美国，当时我有接触到中医，就是在万佛宝忏，每一年我们都有一个万佛宝忏，当时就有一位中医师来到我们的那个万佛宝忏的，来到万佛城，然后我那时就给他诊断看病，然后他就有开药给我，我自己吃了那个药，我感觉在几天里面我就可以感觉到，哎，那个疗效，我自己身体可以感觉到健康有改善，所以那时候就开始对中医有兴趣了。So secondly, it was because of teachers and good knowing advisors, and they recommended and supported my decision. 第二点呢，就是因为有老师们和善知识们的支持和肯定。So here we have 金言师 he told me a lot he taught me a lot about Chinese culture, about traditional Chinese medicine, and we used to translate, we had a project where we translated 药性赋 a book on traditional Chinese medicine together, so I actually learned a lot from that. 那我之前这位就是净言法师，净言法师那时候有和我们一起有一个小小的，就是翻译一个药性赋，我们中医的一本经典药性赋。那时候我就对中医也是有产生了一个兴趣。And secondly, there was Dr. Kui. So Dr. Kui gave me this book. I still have it today. 黄帝内经. Okay, it's the treatise of the canon of I don't know how to translate it, but yeah, basically this book, it's a very famous book in traditional Chinese medicine. And because he gave me this book and he told me that because he knew that I was coming back to Malaysia and I was going to study in Xiamen University of Malaysia, so he told me that you should consider traditional Chinese medicine. So back then I didn't have a thought about Chinese medicine. I never even considered it. But then because he gave me this book, I started reading about it and then I started to gain an interest. 所以那个时候呢，有一个老师，我们在学校的数学老师郭老师 Dr. Kui， 他那时就给了我一本《黄帝内经》，我到今天还在收着这本《黄帝内经》。就是当时他给了我这一本《黄帝内经》，就给到我一种启发。他跟我说，我回来马来西亚厦门大学可以考虑读中医系。那我就之前根本没有考虑过要读中医系，但既然他给了我这本书，我读了一下，就觉得蛮有趣的。那个时候就开始对中医有兴趣了。So after that, I discussed with my dad, and he was okay with it. He was very supportive. So I just went for it. And currently, I'm already in the 3rd semester of my 2nd year. 所以那个时候呢，既然老师又支持，然后我就和我爸爸谈了一下。我问我爸爸，我读中医，你觉得如何？他就说 OK， 非常好啊，他就支持我，我就一直读到现在，已经是大学的第2年最后一个学期了。Now my future direction. So for my future direction, I want to make this world a better place. Just like I said before, when I was in Developing Virtue Boys School, I always say that I want to make this school a better place. But now it's like I want to expand it to the world. How do we make this world a better place and help more people? And help them improve in their health, in their spirituality, in their happiness, in their knowledge, and so much more. So that's basically my general direction in the future. 所以现在就和大家谈一谈我未来的方向。之前在培德男校的时候，我都有和各位所有的学弟们都有讲，我们要把这个学校变得更好。那个现在呢，我觉得可以把它扩展，现在我是想要把世界变得更美好，然后可以帮助到更多的人得到健康，然后得到正确的信仰，还有得到快乐、知识等等。所以这就是我未来一个大致的方向。Okay, so it lagged a little bit. Now, as mentioned in our school song, in the Developing Virtue Boys School song, we said that with a good heart we won't go astray, and goodness and virtue will guide the way. So I really believe that because we have this good heart, this firm foundation, and we have these virtues guiding us, we won't really go astray. We won't do anything really bad, right? So we'll stay on the right path, and I think everything will be fine. 所以我们之前培德男校的校歌里面有写到，做好自己便问心无愧，一心向善则终生无悔。我就是觉得我们这个只要做好自己，把自己的只要善良还有道德的话，我觉得我们这一辈子就很难会走错路，就算走错路，很快也会回归正确的道路上。So this is my basic conclusion for today. 这就是我今天简单的一个总结。And lastly, I'd like to thank all of my teachers and all of my friends and my family, everybody who supported me when I was in developing Virtue Boys School. Thank you so much to all of you. 现在我想要感谢我所有的老师们、同学们，还有所有在美国万佛圣城培德男校陪伴我成长，还有一直鼓励我的老师、同学们等等，非常感谢你们。So that's it for my sharing for today. Thank you so much. 这就是我今天的分享，非常感谢。Hi, 金融师 I finished.
今年是 supposed to be the facilitator.
I think right now we can open up the time for people to ask them questions. Actually, 欢迎大家问问题。他们现在讲的其实蛮快的，所以有几分钟可以大家休息，给大家来分享，给大家来问问题。
I just want to add something because Master Jin Yuan is very familiar with 厦门大学。Do you guys know the reason? 对，严法师厦门大学很熟悉了，你们晓得为什么吗
I heard that his father is a professor there.
Yeah, he was a professor, I think retired. So that's why I think he grew up in 厦门 as well. 今年是严法师他父亲是厦门大学退休的英文老师、英文教授。那严法师也就在厦门那边长大的，所以他对厦门大学很清楚。
阿弥陀佛，有点感情啊，真的是这样。阿弥陀佛。
Chee Hee, if you have a time, can you briefly introduce your department, the program in the traditional Chinese medicine? How many years the program, things like this?
All right, so I'll just I'll do some advertising for my school then.
Yeah, so, your father can do that for you, right?
Yeah, so basically in my school, Xiamen University of Malaysia, we have a 4+1 program. So it's 4 years in Malaysia and 1 year in China. So how this works is that we have 4 years of studying traditional Chinese in Malaysia, and we also have practical on the side, but right now because of COVID-19, so we don't really have much practical experience, sadly. But yeah, that's the program. 所以我们厦门大学马来西亚分校的中医系就是4年加1年的一个过程，就是4年我们会在马来西亚，然后1年会在中国。那这4年在马来西亚，我们也是有加上实习的时间。虽然现在因为疫情的原因，我们没有办法去实习去累积经验，但是希望以后可以继续累积更多的关于中医的经验。然后第5年呢，我们就会去中国的医学院那边实习。Yeah, so that's generally the program. Oh, and we have 51% of subjects in Chinese and 49% of subjects in English. Yeah, 我们就是有51%的科目是用中文上的，然后49%的科目是用英文上的。So this is because of I think there was a law in Malaysia. There was some kind of restriction in Malaysia. Yeah, 这是因为马来西亚的一些法律，我听说是这样，就是因为马来西亚的一些法律的制度，所以我们必须要用英文和中文一起上。Does that answer your question?
Yes. Just if you have time, can you just briefly tell us that what you have been learning for this couple of years? What you learning in the school? What subject are you learning?
Okay, so what I learned in the school, just subjects or also other stuff?
Primarily regarding to the Zhongyi.
Okay, so in regards to Zhongyi, traditional Chinese medicine, I learned a lot about, I learned the basic diagnostic skills, like 我们的望闻问切 like seeing, hearing, basically all the diagnostic skills we need for traditional Chinese medicine, like pulse taking and so on. But of course, I'm not experienced, so I still have to learn a lot more to learn a lot more and gain experience before I can actually diagnose people's sicknesses. 所以我在这几年里面是有学到一些基本的中医知识，尤其是关于诊断的。当然，我现在学的就是关于望闻问切，我们中医的施诊、把脉啊什么都有包括在里面。但是现在因为还没有足够的临床经验，所以还不可以真正有把握的去帮病人看病。Yeah, so that's generally what I learned.
Yeah, will you learn some Western medicine, the basic knowledge, physiology, things like this?
Yes, exactly. Speaking of that, I actually have to learn. It's funny. It's a traditional Chinese medicine course, but I have to learn Western medicine as well. I have to learn about conventional medicine. So currently in my current semester right now, I'm taking pharmacology, where I have to learn about the conventional drugs and their mechanism of action and so on, as well as pathology in Western medicine. So I still have to learn all that. Yeah. 现在在我其实现在虽然说是读中医，但是还是要学关于西医的科目。就是我这个学期我有学到关于西医的药理学，还有病理学，那就要学关于种种不同的西药，然后他们的一些治病的一些方法等等的，对，所以还是需要学到西医。
There's a question for you. Is it in the chat box?
Oh, in the chat box.
Yeah. Is it?
成志喜，好，问一下。Oh, the newest one, the most recent one.
Yeah. 翻译经典。
翻译经典和打坐对你生活和学习有什么帮助，以及如何运用到生活中？ Okay, so this is a question. Thank you so much, Lu Jing from Shanghai. I'm not sure if a he or she, but thank you so much for asking. Oh, Tao Jing from Shanghai. You're asking me about how translation and how meditation helped me with my life and my studies, and how I use it in my daily life. So my answer to you is that translating sutras and translating these texts, they really help me think really quickly in both languages. So some of my friends, they think in just English or they think in Chinese, but I can really quickly switch from thinking in Chinese to thinking in English, and or both, and so on. So that really helped me. And sometimes it really helps in communication. Like if there's a student who doesn't understand Chinese, then I can translate on the spot for him. So it's really helpful in my daily life. 所以我们有一位陶金居士，他有问到我翻译经典和打坐对我的生活和学习有什么帮助，以及我如何运用在自己的生活中。那么翻译经典呢，可以让我很快的，因为我们很多人想东西就是习惯用一个语言来想，那我可以有时用英文来想，有时用中文来想，然后很快可以从英文转去中文，中文转去英文。然后在日常生活中呢，有时候可能身边有一位同学听不懂中文还是听不懂英文，我可以马上帮忙翻译，让他也可以理解现在在发生什么事情。And now as for meditation, so meditation really helps me, although I don't practice every single day, I should, but I don't. It really helped me calm my mind, especially mindfulness of breathing. It really helped me come to the present moment and see that, okay, I can let go of everything for a moment and I can come back to everything later and it will be fine too. 所以这个打坐对于我的生活有什么帮助呢？还有对学习有什么帮助呢？其实对于我自己生活中，它可以帮助我放松心情，然后就是有时就可以放空自我，尤其是看着自己的呼吸。我们 How do you say that? 金融师 mindfulness of breathing in Chinese. Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Usually it's 数息 right?
Yeah, 数息就是数呼吸，它可以让我放松，然后回到当下。那么我可以暂时就放松，就觉得 OK， 我之后还可以回来做我日常生活中做的事情，现在可以暂时放松放缓一下。And as for studying, it really, really helps. Seriously, it really helps me focus. I can get a lot done that other people, like some of my friends might have to take 2 to 3 hours, sometimes even 2 to 3 days. But sometimes because I'm more focused, and this is because of meditation, really. And because of this, I'm able to learn a lot in a shorter period of time, and I can do a lot more in a short period of time. Yeah. 然后在学习上面呢，我觉得打坐可以帮助我专注，提升我的专注力，所以我在学习上面很快可以吸收新的知识，还有累积新的能力。那么在学业上面呢，我可以通常人家要2到3个小时，还是2到3天，学的东西还是做的作业，我可能可以在
做报告你都不敢自己讲中文呢，还要找一个人来帮你翻。那你这几年其实中文的口语啊也是有很大的进步，我能够听得出来。然后你在对，然后你在当时说在宿舍的时候，你说孔雀声能够吵到你，能睡觉都不得安宁，所以你可以说说你自己在这方面的一些进步啊，或者怎么样的一个学习经验，跟大家分享一下。
学习经验，所以是要分享我中文学习中文吗？还是？
可以啊，你可以讲讲你这方面的这个，对呀。
那么其实在中文这方面呢，I'll say it in English, right? I'll say it in English first. So actually for
顺便帮我也翻一下吧。
可以。So actually for today's topic, I translated I translated everything myself, and it's been a long time since I've done this. The last time I did this was, I don't remember, because the last time I gave a speech at the Buddha Hall. Marco actually translated for me on that day. So he helped me translate everything, and then he was really fast so I could get it done. And so I was really thank you to him. But today I don't have Marco next to me, so I have to translate it myself. And it's not easy translating. It has always been something that I've avoided. All my friends, many of my friends, my brother as well, is very into translating, but Chinese has always been something that I never felt so eager about. But it's very important. And sometimes I would think my Chinese is good enough. But when I came back to Malaysia, I realized there are rooms for improvements for sure. 那么我在美国的时候，那么今天我和大家分享的都是我自己翻译的，英文我自己写的过，然后我自己翻译去中文。但是之前
我其实是说你要帮老师也翻译一下。
帮老师。
我的问题你要先翻，然后你才回答，对吗？
Oh my god. Okay, 好。So what 金岩师 asked me was how do I deal with the Chinese situation? How I learn Chinese as well, and my Chinese and basically my Chinese level and something like that. So things like that. 那么金岩师刚刚是问我，金岩师你刚刚用中文问，所以我还需要翻译吗？这个中文的，应该不需要吧？那么中文呢，我今天是我自己翻译。之前在美国的时候，我在佛堂和大家分享我的故事的时候，是我有一位同学叫做 Marco， 他帮我翻译的。那么我从来没有自己翻译过自己的分享，所以这是第一次。然后我也发现到非常非常的不简单。在美国的时候，我时常在班上睡觉，在中文课的时候没有什么专心听课，因为我觉得我中文已经蛮不错了，而且毕竟我在美国，中文刚刚好就够了。但是当我回到马来西亚，我发现到，我中文其实还有很多可以进步的空间，还需要多加强。所以在美国的时候应该好好读书。Yeah, so 金岩师还有什么吗？ Is there anything that I missed out?
你那个现在对于你以前睡觉的时候那个孔雀会吵到，现在这些都记得吗？
对，我记得。So 金岩师 asked me that I once said in CTTB that the peacocks are very annoying. They would wake me up in the morning and they're super loud. So if you have been in CTTB, you know that the peacocks are very loud. And sometimes before you set your alarm, you know that the next day you're going to get woken up by the peacocks anyways. So it was something that was very difficult for me in the beginning. But then I got used to it after a month, I think, that like the peacocks noises they won't wake me up anymore. So it's definitely a skill, a really important skill that I developed in CTTB. So right now I can sleep very peacefully, and even without all the distractions, I can basically sleep anywhere. And one example is when I went to Taiwan and there was a typhoon. Even with the rain, with the wind, with all the noises and everything outside, I fell asleep just like that on cold concrete floor. So that's one skill that I got from CTTB that I'm very thankful for too. 那么我想要跟大家讲一下，就是我一开始去到美国，孔雀的声音呢非常的吵，对我来说非常的大声，每天早上醒来都会被孔雀吵醒，而不是我自己自愿的醒来的。所以大概1个月过后，我已经习惯了这个孔雀的叫声，然后这个帮助了我很多。我可以在很多地方，不管多么的吵还是多么的不舒服，我还可以睡着，然后我也没有那么容易的被吵醒。然后比如说我之前在台湾的时候有台风，那么那时候我在山上的一个庙里面，而且风很大，树也开始倒了，然后外面也很吵，但是我就可以在一个冷冷的地上面就直接睡着，因为我在万佛城已经习惯了那么吵的声音，所以这个是一个非常重要的技巧，我从万佛圣城学到的，得来的。Yeah.
Genius, do you have anything more? If not, I'll make couple announcements.
没有了。那个老大说这个摄影专业的其实不错，那么他是广告的，跟摄影还差了还是有点距离的。以后如果做得好的话，说不定可以把马来西亚华人在那边的奋斗历程也拍成好的这个片子，可以来给大家分享，对吧？我们在美国这边有什么当北京碰上西雅图这些大家比较熟悉的，马来西亚似乎好像没有看过，所以你可以留心这方面。OK， 我不用翻译，基义你帮我翻。
啊，老师你在考验我。
对，快点来，因为时间很宝贵。
Okay, I think from what I heard Jing Yuan say, he said that William is studying in advertising, but he's still a little bit different from videography. But then if he can work on that, then in the future he can help film 关于什么在马来西亚的
华人在马来西亚奋斗的这个历史啊。
Oh, okay. He can help film about how the Chinese in Malaysia had been fighting for.
不是 fighting， 奋斗啊。They are not fighting 是另外的意思了，就是说 they are very rigorous and hardworking to make not just make a living but also create their own culture and to contribute to the society over there. Yeah， 是这个意思。然后we have many a good movie about how Chinese people are working in the American society, and similarly, I hope maybe in the future we can see some good movie about how Chinese people or the history of the Chinese nation, how their history. Yeah, I mean the word.
Thank you both of you. Very nice talk, and I'm surprised as well. You guys' Mandarin is so good. 谢谢他们2个兄弟给我们做这么精彩的演讲。那他们2个的这个普通话、华语啊，都讲得很好，比我原来想象的好。我原来还问他们说，需不需要人家帮他们翻译？Anyway, so I'll just make a couple announcements. So for next Sunday, we have Mr. Zhang Chu. I'm sorry, the name is wrong. I haven't changed this name yet. This is Mr. Zhang Chu. Okay, not these two brothers. John will give us a progress report of the Wonderful Enlightenment Buddhist Institute. This is in the East Campus of the CTTB. 那下礼拜天，我这个名字没有改，是朱建和居士，他要和我们做这个妙觉佛教学院工程进度的报告。这个妙觉佛教学院就是我们在圣城的东区的工程，所以那个 Zoom link 是和今天的是一样的。那 YouTube 我们会再提供给大家。So the Zoom link will be the same as today's, and YouTube link will provide that later. And after that, we have Dhammas Chee. She is going to speak for 2 Sundays. 那接下来是持法师，他要和我们开始连续2个礼拜。7月25这天是观音期开始的那一天。他会和我们先介绍观音菩萨，然后主要讲7语的龙王咒。最后我们圣城这边因为在7月24号会有3位女众会出家，所以他会简单的介绍这个刚出家的3位沙弥尼。So on the 25th of July, this is the first day of the Guanyin session, and so Dhammas Chee will talk about Guanyin Bodhisattva first. Then she'll talk about this mantra, the Dragon King's mantra, to seek rain, because we are in a drought. Then after that, she is going to introduce 3 new novice nuns. On the 24th, I think it's a Saturday before the Sunday, we'll have 3 lay women. They are going to be ordained to the novice nuns. So Dhammas Chee will introduce them to everyone. Again, the Zoom will be the same link, and the YouTube we have to provide the link to everyone later. 那同样的，这个 Zoom link 是每个礼拜天都是一样。那 YouTube 我们以后才会给。So much for that. 严法师 can you lead us to dedicate merit?
好，我们就中文好不好？中文对吗？
都可以。
好 ，OK， 好，那我们来合掌，大家一起回向。愿以此功德，庄严佛净土，上报四重恩，下济三途苦。若有见闻者，悉发菩提心，尽此一报身，同生极乐国。顶礼老和尚。好，阿弥陀佛。
阿弥陀佛。Thank everyone.